Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Mama Jnana Timirandasya Jnana Anjana Salakaya Chakhurinimile Tandena Tasmi Shri Gurave Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manovishtam Sapitam Jana Bhutale Soyam Rupa Kadamayam Dalati Sapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Judapada Kamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavanam Cha Nirupam Sagrajatam Saganasi Raghunatham Mitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devan Hiradha Krishna Padan Saganalitam Sri Visakham Vitam Cha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Haripriya Vancha Kalpatrivascha Kurpa Sindhuveva Cha Patitanam Pavanabhya Vaishnavya Namo Namah Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Samiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Pasat Desatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So Hare Krishna. So today we are going our second session of thematic study of essence of Bhagavad Gita. So in first session we have discussed about the Karma Yoga chapter 1 to test 6. As we know that Karma Yoga means when we are linking with the Lord predominantly through the karma fruitive activities, then it is called Karma Yoga. So Lord in the explain in the second chapter onwards that we are not this body, we are the spirit soul. Therefore, he was teaching us about the Karma Yoga, how we can perform fruitive activities with detachment and offer our result or surrendering our work unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In this way, we can free from the entanglement of the karmic reaction. So in this way, he explained that, and in also fourth chapter, he explained the transcendental knowledge. So how on the platform of transcendental knowledge, we can perform Karma Yoga, that is called action in Krishna consciousness. Understanding that I am the spirit soul and I am not this body and I am the part and parcel of the Supreme Lord. Then we can begin activities for him, Jagyate Karmana, for his satisfaction. That will free us from any karmic reaction. So in this way we should work. So but in the sixth chapter, so it's like it is a long way up from Karma Yoga. Then he explained also a little bit of Jnana Yoga and also Dhyana Yoga. So the thing is that from the beginning, from the Karma Yoga to the end of Bhakti Yoga, this is a ladder of a roadmap of yoga, or ladder of bhakti, ladder of Bhagavad Gita, ladder of yoga. So it's a long way of self-realization. Karma yoga without any fruitive result is the beginning of this path. And then when karma yoga increases in knowledge and renunciation, that is called jnana yoga. When jnana yoga increases in meditation, that is dhyana yoga. Sixth chapter we have learned. But when dhyana yoga increases in bhakti, that is called bhakti yoga, which is the ultimate, which is called Kṛṣṇa consciousness, the ultimate perfection of all yogas. This is a culmination of all. All other yogas are like stepping stone. Bhakti yoga is the ultimate. But to analyze bhakti yoga, therefore Kṛṣṇa has presented so many other yoga. Somebody may raise the question why he presented all other yoga if bhakti yoga is the ultimate goal. No, to analyze bhakti yoga properly, we should understand the other yogas also, subsidiary yoga. So therefore, the yogi who is very progressive from karma yoga to actually very fortunate. But those yogi who stick to a particular point and does not their progress, they are called karma yogi, jnana yogi, hatha yogi, so and so forth. Therefore, the essence of Bhagavad Gita is the Bhakti yoga. All other yogas are simply a stepstone to come to the point of bhakti. Therefore, Krishna say that Krishna say that bhakta mam avijananti javanjachasami manmana bhava mad bhakta ananyas chintante mam jo. So all the time Krishna is presenting, no, only by bhaktya you can come to me. Only by bhakti yoga you can understand me. He never use that you do the karma yoga and you come to me. He specifically use that bhaktya mam avijananti javanjachasami tattataha. Therefore, Bhakti Yoga from 7th chapter to 12th chapter is very, very precious, very important, because it's the essence of Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita is meant to become a devotee of Krishna, engage in the devotional activities. Krishna's ultimate or quintessential instruction, the supreme instruction is Manamana Bhava, Madhavakta, you become my devotee, engage in my service, devotional service. Madhajaji, Mamanasu. Therefore, if you can see that in the last two verses of chapter 6, before the last verses, he said that out of all yogis, the bhakti yoga is the highest. Yoginam api sarvesam madgatena antaratma manaha saddhavan bhajate jomam same yuktatam mata. So Krishna here confirms, affirms, asserted that bhakti yoga is the highest. Bhakti yoga is the highest of all yogis. And of all yogi, the one with great faith who always abides in me, thinks of me within himself, renders this transcendental loving service to me, is the most intimately united with me in yoga. The highest of all, that is my opinion. So here it is, Krishna has very categorically say, out of all the things, the highest is the highest yogi is the Bhakti yogi. The culmination of all kind of yoga practices lies in Bhakti yoga. All other yogas are but means to come to the point of bhakti in Bhakti yoga. Yoga actually means Bhakti yoga. All other yogas are progressive toward the destination of Bhakti yoga. From beginning to karma yoga to Bhakti yoga is a long way of self-realization. That's a fact. He himself spoke to the gopis. The gopis are considered to be the highest devotee of the Lord, as confirmed by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, that Ramya Kaschid Upasana Brajavadu Bargena Jo Kalpite. Then he spoke to gopis. He told to gopis that my bhaktiri bhutanam amrutaive kalpate. So Krishna say, my bhaktiri bhutanam amrutaive kalpate. Rendering devotional service unto me qualify any living entity for eternal life. So this is the highest. He spoke to Uddhava also. Then nothing is left beyond the bhakti. Bhakti is the topmost. Bhaktim labdhavata sadhava kimanyata avishasate. So what more remains to be accomplished for the perfect devotee after achieving devotional service unto me, the supreme absolute truth? So there is nothing to be. Yam labda cha paramalabham. In Bhagavad Gita chapter 6 also Krishna says, Yam labda cha paramalabham. That is the highest point of bhakti. Highest point is bhakti. The culmination of everything. Savai punsam paro dharma jato bhakti radakyat. This parama dharma is bhakti. So we'll start chapter 12 chapter, the Bhakti Yoga. In the very beginning of the 7th chapter, Lord is explaining 7th chapter, the theme of the 7th chapter is knowledge of the absolute truth. So in the very beginning of the chapter, Krishna is explaining, informing Arjuna knowledge of the absolute truth. Why? Because Prabhupada says that you know a person, but if you know a person, he is rich, if you know how much rich he is, how much opulence he is, so it will deepen our respect, our attachment for him, our love for him. Wider the understanding, deeper the love. So the whole idea of showing the whole idea of explaining the 7th chapter, the knowledge of his absolute knowledge, to know about the Kṛṣṇa and his energy, how he is the boss, he is the supreme, the cause of everything, is that will inspire us to take shelter or surrender unto him. That is whole idea. It's not like Lord is showing up a self-aggrandizement that, oh, I am this, I am that. No. He's not just showing off his opulences. Only this is for the inspiration. It will give us a impetus and inspiration to surrender. That is whole idea. So Kṛṣṇa say, if you know about Kṛṣṇa, you should hear from him. Supposing Prabhupada used to say, if I want to know about you in details, I should know from you or from your confidential person. I cannot speculate. So therefore Kṛṣṇa say, if you know about me, to know about me, you should hear. So Kṛṣṇa is starting with that Sri Bhagavan uvacha maya sakta manaha partha yogam inju madasraya asamsayam samagramam yat gyasasi tasrunu. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, now hear, O son of Pitta, how by practicing yoga in full of conscious of me, with mind attached to me, you can know me full and free from doubt. So here very important point, maya sakta mana partha. So one has to develop the attachment for the Lord by hearing process. So hearing is very, very important. At present moment, we are not interested to hearing. Sususa. Bhagavatam says, Sususa means those who are anxious to hear or eager to hear, Kṛṣṇa is immediately available. So there is no, hearing process is not there nowadays. So therefore, supposing Kṛṣṇa says, Maya asakta manapartha yogam, you should take shelter of me, you think of Kṛṣṇa always. If you know, if I love somebody, I will think of him always. Similarly, Kṛṣṇa says, you develop that attachment for me. Then you can know me. How to develop that attachment? By process of hearing. Simply by hearing. Lord is actually not seen through eyes, through ears. Srutya chitta patha. Lord is here through the ears, by hearing process. So therefore, so he is explaining that the attachment. He explained that you should develop the attachment for me, then you can understand me by process of hearing. So he started with that if you do not develop the attachment, what is the use of all the things? If you are not Kṛṣṇa consciousness, everything is useless. Aradhita jadi harim tapasa tatakim, naradhita jadi harim tapasa tatakim. What is the use of all kind of process realizations, all kind of process for self-realization or God realization, if you do not have attachment for him? You do not have love for him. If you have love for him, you have developed some attachment for him. What is the use of all this process? Therefore Kṛṣṇa saying, Maya asakta manapartha, you develop the attachment for me. Then you can know me. Asamsayam, completely know me. Therefore Prabhupada in the Purport is very nice, verses 1 to 17 onwards, that how by process of hearing Sinnatam Sokatha Kṛṣṇa Punya Sarvana Kirtana Udantastani Avadrani. So our attachment is not there because we have so many other attachments. To destroy all other attachment, to cleanse other attachment, we should hear Kṛṣṇa Katha, what Kṛṣṇa speaks. In this way, nasta prayasu abhadresu, all our mode of passion and ignorance, all our infection, that will be cleared. Then we will develop the attachment for Kṛṣṇa. So this is the process of hearing. When you develop the attachment for the Kṛṣṇa, then we can go back to Godhead. We can understand him. We can understand him in scientifically, not sentimentally. Very scientifically, we can understand him. People do not like to know that. Therefore, Kṛṣṇa says, Manushyanam saharsesu. Very, very few people they are interested to know me. Manushyanam saharsesu kaschid etati siddha etatam api siddhanam. The second, third verses he is speaking. That very, very few people. And Kṛṣṇa also spoke that in second chapter, that jnāna-yoga vijñānam, I am speaking you practically also, not sentimentally. It's very scientifically you can understand the Lord. Therefore, one should hear. So he's starting with his opulences. He told that all this material energy is emanation from me. Bhumi rapanalabhayu kam manu buddhirevacha ahankara ityamte vinna prakriti aṣṭāṅga. He is now informing this material energy which we are working, whole material world is working, and the 5 elements, that is my energy. Kṛṣṇa say earth, water, fire, air, ether, mind, intelligence, false ego, all together these 8 constitute my separate material energy. So Kṛṣṇa has so many energy. Parasya Shakti Vividaiva Sruvati. Just like a rich person, he has got so many secretary. He doesn't have to do anything. He has to do with all his secretary or managers. Similarly, Kṛṣṇa has so many potency. Parasya Shakti Vividaiva Sruvati, many potency. Specifically categorized into 3 type of things. One is material energy, one is internal energy, antaranga Shakti, bahiranga, tatastha Shakti. This we are living entity. We are part and parcel. We are also energy of the Lord. So many energy. Then he is now explaining my material, and these are my material energy. Now he declared that you see my spiritual energy. So he is also explaining about his spiritual energy. Next verses, he is telling my spiritual energy also there. We are part and parcel. Aparayam itastanyam prakritim vidhime param jiva bhuttam mahabhav yayadham dharayati jagat. So beside this, Almighty, Almighty, I am Arjuna, there is another superior energy of mine which comprises living entity who are exploiting the resource of this material inferior nature. So he is also explaining about spiritual energy. Now he is about, and now he is saying that both this and that, everything, this is what you say, I am the supreme. I am the supreme. I am the master of both energy. All created beings have their source in true nature. Of all that material, all that is spiritual in this world, know that certain I am both the origin and dissolution. So Kṛṣṇa is saying his energy that I am the origin, is the source of both material energy and spiritual. He is the boss. Whole idea is that 7th chapter, he is the boss. So then he is explaining that although all this material energy is working, they are under me, not that I am under them. So Kṛṣṇa is saying that all these things are my emanation, but I am not there. Kṛṣṇa say, know that all state of being their goodness, passion, ignorance are manifested by my energy. I am one sense everything, I am independent, I am not under the modes of material nature. For they, on contrary, are within me. So he is explaining that this energy are under my control. Just like secretary under the control of the boss, that boss is control. Similarly, all the trivir gunamai bhaveir, evi sarvam idam jagat mohitam na vijananti mam abhya paramam abhyam. Deluded by 3 modes, goodness, passion, and ignorance, the whole world does not know me, who am above the mode in existence. This is the problem. We do not know God. We don't care for knowing God also. What is the necessity of knowing God? All these people are crazy. They have no idea. Everything belongs to Him. Everything belongs to Him. Everything emanated from Him. So he is showing, he is informing that all this material energy is running, all the spiritual energy is also running. Everything is I am the source. And you are deluded. You do not know me because of ignorance, because of this infection, because of infected by the modes. You do not know me. I am above all the things. He is asserting he is the boss. Why? Because by knowing him, we will surrender unto him. Whole process that he wants to make us surrender. We have, because due to ignorance, we have been plunged into this material existence. We do not know about this. We have so much ignorance. Just like a child is ignorance, should get enlightenment. So Kṛṣṇa is enlightening us, the 7th chapter, knowledge of absolute. Enlighten everyone that he is the boss of everything what created, material, spiritual. And he told that further that That two kind of people, they surrender unto me. He told that anybody who surrender unto me, then he will get out. Otherwise, very difficult. Everybody is under the clutches of this material energy. Very difficult. Mama Maya Duratai. Krishna say, this divine energy of mind consisting of three modes of material nature is difficult to overcome. So we are all enmeshed in this material engagement, material entanglement, undergoing very repeated birth, death, birth, death. We have been suffering, rotting and rotating, because we are infected. So to cure from the infection or to get out, only process is to surrender unto me. Because this energy is Krishna's energy, very, very powerful. Dave Isa Gunamai Mamamai Duratayam is very difficult, impossible, insurmountable. So therefore, we only process to surrender to him. And further, he told that there are four kind of people surrender to me. Those who are, and four kind of people do not surrender unto me. So first he told there are four kind of people do not surrender to me. Namam duskitana muda prapandante naradhama maya prata jnana asurim bhavasita. Those miscreants who are grossly foolish, who are lowest among mankind, whose knowledge is stolen by knowledge, who partake atheistic nature of demon, do not surrender. The four kind of people is given. Those who are grossly full, lowest of mankind, whose knowledge, they are big, big knowledge, scientists, big, big minister, political leader, their knowledge is stolen by illusion. And people who are interested or partaking in atheistic nature, they cannot understand Krishna. Therefore, they do not surrender. But those other four kind of people, they surrender. Who are they? Those who want Chaturvida Bhajante Mam Jana Sukritina or Artha Jigyansu Rathati Gyani Cha Bharat Sarva. So, O best among the Bharata, four kind of pious men begin render devotional service unto me. The distress, desire of wealth, inquisitive, and with searching after knowledge. These four kind of people, they surrender unto Krishna. Therefore, Krishna is explaining about that how by surrendering unto him, one can get out from this one. Then he is explaining that people, those who have no knowledge of Krishna and foolish people, they do not surrender to him. They surrender to demigod because they have some material desire. Those who are impersonalists, those who are, they want something more money, a material desire, some opulences, some material gain, they surrender to the demigods. So he spoke that they worshipping the demigods. They do not surrender to Krishna. कामी स्थिर हित ज्ञान प्रपंच अन्य देवता tam tam niyatam mastai prakriti niyata sada. Those whose minds are distorted by material desire surrender unto demigods, follow particular rules and regulations, worship according to their own. They do not surrender because they have no knowledge of Krishna. They want some material desire. They're deluded. They're deluded. Maya prata jnana. Their knowledge is distorted. He say Maya. He say kami satir hita jnana. Hita jnana means their knowledge has been stolen, distorted. The knowledge has been distorted. Therefore, they do not surrender to Krishna. So in this way, he is explaining about the seventh chapter, that how we can, people are deluded and they do not surrender unto me. Then he spoke that one can come that delusion to devotion. Actually, almost all the people practically are deluded. They do not know who is God, who am I, what is my relationship. They do not know their purpose of life. Nate viddu shastra gatimi Vishnu. They have no idea what is their purpose, who is Vishnu, who is Krishna, who is God. They want to enjoy the kingdom of God, but without God. Therefore, Lord is explaining about his position, his opulences, his position as a boss. But he told that people do not surrender because of delusion, and that delusion can be converted or transformed to the devotion. So, because of Maya is forcing him to see dualities. Therefore, they do not know they are in their builder. Maya is bewildering them. So therefore, only thing freedom is that by process of devotional service they can free. Here Krishna says that very 3 verses are very, very important. Krishna says, Ichha desha samuttena dvanda mohena bharata sarvabhutani samam sarge janti pranta. Why people are deluded? Why they do not know God? Why they are not interested? Ocean of Bharat, or conqueror of foe, all living entity are born into delusion, builder by duality arising from desire and that. So that is the thing. Real constitutional position of the living entity is that subordinates to Supreme Lord, who is pure knowledge. Who is pure knowledge? When one is deluded into separation from this pure knowledge, he becomes controlled by the illusory energy, cannot understand the Supreme Personality. See, that is very important because no knowledge. One is deluded by pure knowledge, so he cannot understand that. An illusory energy is manifested in the form of duality, desire and hate. So they are envy Krishna. Why Supreme? Why I am not Supreme? Therefore they are envious, they hate. They are, So therefore, those who are not deluded by this or contaminated by desire, hate, they surrender to Krishna. So Krishna saying this is the root cause, that why they do not, because their pure knowledge is deluded. Then he told how to come to him, by the process of bhakti. Jesam tu antagatam papam jananam punya karmanam tedonda mohanirmuktam bhajante maam duddhavata. Krishna says a person who has acted piously in previous life, in this life, whose sinful reactions are completely eradicated, free from duality of delusion, they engage themselves in my service with determination. Krishna says those whose dualities of delusion has been destroyed or free from dualities, they engage in this service. And by this process, then they can understand Krishna. They can get out. That means they can transform the delusion to devotion by this process, by the process of engaging in devotional service. Jara marana mokkhaya mam ashrita yatanti che tad brahma tad vidu Krishnam adhyatma karma chakhilam. Intelligent person who are endeavoring for liberation from old age, death, takes refuge in me in devotional service. They are actually Brahman because they entirely know everything about transcendental activity. So Krishna say the root cause of that people do not know me because they are deluded, their pure knowledge is deluded. But those who have acted piously for many, this life, last life, etc., so they are determined to engage in devotional service. And by the process of devotional service, one can get out from this illusory placement or from this transient material existence, which is not our real home, real place. So this is all about 7th chapter, is very important. It's enlightenment about Krishna's opulences. So now Krishna has already said that how to get the liberation. So by become Krishna consciousness in devotional service, one can know him. So in this way he can come to Krishna. So the last verse also, Bhagavad Gita 7:30. Krishna say that those in full conscious of me, who know me, Supreme Lord, to be the governing principle of material manifestation, the demigod of all method of sacrifice, can understand and know me, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, even at the time of death. So who can understand Krishna? Krishna says, Manusyanam sahasya sukasya. That is very difficult to understand. And he is explaining about my opulence. I am the boss, I am the of everything, but people do not understand because of knowledge. But those who engage in this, who are in Krishna consciousness, who engage in devotional service, they can know me. Even at the time of death, they can know me. So this is very important point. Person acting in Krishna consciousness are never deviated from the path of entirely understanding the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So therefore, the Krishna consciousness or devotional service, bhakti, is very, very important. So after this 7th chapter, Krishna is explaining in the 8th chapter how to attain him, how to attain Krishna. because that is the purpose of human life, how to attain. So Krishna has given a formula, very easy formula. In the beginning of 8th chapter, he is giving a very easy formula that how to attaining the supreme, how to reach to that boss Krishna, who is the supreme, who is the master of both manifestation, who is the root cause of all material energy, spiritual energy. So of course, in the beginning, Krishna, Arjuna is asking some question, 6 question. What is Brahman? What is Adhyatmi? What is Adhabhuta, Vidaiva, etc. So then finally, Krishna is explaining that remembering a Krishna at the time of death is the success formula. Antakale cha mam eva smarana mukta kalevaram ye prayati sa mam ya prati samadhabhavam yati nasti atra sansar. So Krishna says, whoever at the end of his life quits his body remembering me alone, at once attains my nature. Of there is no doubt. In this verse, important of Krishna consciousness is stressed. Anyone who quits his body in Krishna consciousness is at once transferred to the transcendental nature of Supreme Lord. The Supreme Lord is the purest of pure. Therefore, anyone who is constantly Krishna consciousness is also purest of pure. The word smarana, remembering, is important. Remembrance of Krishna is not possible for the impure soul who has not practiced Krishna consciousness in devotional service. See, impure soul cannot. Therefore, Krishna says, Jesam te antagatam papam jananam punya karmanam. So therefore, one should practice Krishna consciousness from the very beginning of life to become pure. If one wants to achieve success at the end of life, the process of remembering Krishna is very, very essential. Therefore, one should constantly and incessantly chant the Maha Mantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. Lord Chaitanya has advised that one be a tolerant as tree. So here it is said that how one can attain. Krishna is telling one attains, one remembers me at the time of death. Therefore, Krishna saying that, also next verse he says that whatever do you think at the time of death, you will be that person. Supposing I am thinking of a tiger, I become a tiger. I am thinking of my wife, I become a female. So, yam bapi smaranam bhaja tajjatanta kalavaram. This is whatever my psychological condition at the time of death, I become the same in the next life. So, therefore, very, very important to make our psychological condition such that we will remember at the time of death. Therefore, practice is very important. Practice makes a man perfect, prudent. We have not practiced, we cannot come out flying color in final examination. We have to whole year, we have to practice. Therefore, whole life we have to practice of thinking of Krishna consciousness. So Krishna is stressing that you remember me by the process of remembering in Kali Yuga is chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Because mind is so fickle, Kali Yuga is so disturbed. Therefore, the chanting will bring us to remember Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Mama. Then Krishna say, Arjuna advising, very important advising. People may say that, oh, I have got so many activities, I am working, so much I am working, how can I remember? Tasmat sarveshu kaleshu ma manusparana yadyacha maya arpita mana buddhir ma evasya samsaya. So here is he is requesting Arjuna. Therefore, Arjuna, you should always think of me in the form of Krishna. At the same time, carry out your prescribed duty of fighting. With your activities dedicated to me, your mind, intelligence fixed on me, you will attain me without a doubt. So Krishna in 8th chapter is saying about that very important for all men engaged in material activity. Lord does not say one should give up the prescribed duty or engagement. One can continue them at the same time, think of Krishna by chanting Hare Krishna. That will free one from material contamination, engage the mind and intelligence in Krishna. By chanting Krishna name, one will be transported to the supreme planet, Krishna Loka, without a doubt. So here Krishna is telling how to attain. He requesting Arjuna, you fight at the same time you remember me. You do your prescribed duty. Krishna consciousness does not mean that you give up your prescribed duty, go to Himalaya, chant. Krishna never advised Arjuna. At the same time you think of them. So this is the 8th chapter, how to attain. So Krishna therefore further he telling by meditating, is further explaining about how you can meditate on me by practicing all this yoga misra bhakti. Then finally come to by constantly chanting of me, you can easily attain me. he told in 8:14 very wonderful verses. Krishna say that ananya chetasa satata yamam smarate nityasa tasyam sullava patra nitya jukta sujogina. For one who always remember me and without deviation, I am easy to obtain, O son of Partha, because of his constant engagement in devotional service. This verse especially describes the final destination attained by the unalloyed devotee who serves the Supreme Personality of Godhead in Bhakti-yoga. Previous verses have mentioned 4 different kinds of devotee: distress, inquisitive, those who seek material gain, speculative philosopher. Different process of liberation have also been described: karma, jnana, yoga, hatha yoga. The principle of these yoga systems have some bhakti added, but this verse particularly mentions pure bhakti yoga without any mixture of jnana, karma, hatha, and indicated by the word ananya chetasa in pure bhakti yoga. So this is a very important. Pure bhakti yoga is different from the mixed. Krishna say that many people are approaching me through karma, through jnana, through meditation, or through the process of 4 kind of pious people they also approach. But pure bhakti is this one. This is a pure bhakti. They remember Krishna only, and they also reach the spiritual planet. They attain very easily. Sudullava. Very easily they attain because they are engaged pure devotional service. So then Krishna is speaking about this, how the material world is bhuta bhuta pralayate. So Krishna is explaining how to attain abode also, my abode also. He explained about how this material world is how the material world is temporary. He's speaking some information about the material world, which is constantly created and also destroyed. So he's speaking very nicely that how at the beginning of Brahma day, all living entity become manifest from the unmanifested. Thereafter, when night fall, they are merged into unmanifested. Again and again, when Brahma day arrives, all living entity come into being with the arrival of Brahma night. They are helplessly annihilated. So the Brahma day and Brahma night. Brahma day it is created, this material world, Brahma night again destroyed. So bhuta bhuta praliyate. This material world is always temporary. Is created, destroyed, created, destroyed. But there is another, Krishna is telling, no, I have another place is called spiritual world. That spiritual world never. Paratasmastu anya bhava vyakta vaktat. Sanatana. Yasya sarvesu bhutesu nasyasya na vinasyati. So unlike material world, the spiritual world is never destroyed. Yet there is another unmanifest nature which is eternal, is transcendental to this manifested, unmanifested matter. It is supreme, is never annihilated. When all the world is annihilated, that part remains as it is. So Krishna is giving a hint of that spiritual world. This material world is very transient. We are existing in a non-existential atmosphere. Therefore, Krishna is showing the bhakti. His whole idea of Bhagavad Gita is directing to the conditioned soul to get out from this temporary material existence, attain the spiritual existence, which is Vyakta, Bhakta, Sanatana. He never annihilated. Here everything annihilated. We take birth, we die, take birth, cycle of birth and death, wheel full of cycle of birth and death. Going on, punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam. Therefore, Bhagavad Gita to deliver the mankind from this obnoxious material existence. That is the purpose of Krishna. So he is explaining everything. 7th chapter is explaining is about him, knowledge of the absolute truth, how he is the boss, and how people do, who surrender unto me, how people do not know me deluded, how they can know me by practicing Krishna consciousness, and at the time of death they can know me and they can go back to me. In 8th chapter he is explaining. Now he is explaining that how that there is a material world, there is a spiritual world, and again he is stressing that by bhakti one can come to the spiritual world. In this beautiful verses he said that 8:22, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is greater than all, is attainable by unalloyed devotion. Although he is present in his abode, he is all-pervading, everything is situated with it. So they are very important. It is here clearly stated that supreme destination from which there is no return. It is the abode of Kṛṣṇa, supreme person. So here saying that there is a spiritual world, and by unalloyed devotion one can reach that. That is the goal of life. That is the objective of life. That is the purpose of life. So in this way, 8th chapter, Kṛṣṇa is explaining all the things. Finally, final verse is very, very important in 8th chapter. He is saying that supremacy of the bhakti. He says that how bhakti is very supreme. He says that Vedesu Yajñesu Tapasu Chaiva Danesu Yat Punya Phalam Pradishtam Atyatisya Sarvam Idam Viditva Yogi Paramasthānam Upati Chadyam. So he says that supremacy of bhakti. A person who accepts the path of devotional service is not bereft of the result derived from studying Vedas, performing sacrifice, undergoing austerity, giving charity, pursuing philosophical fruitive activities. Simply by performing devotional service, he attains all this. At the end, he reaches the supreme eternal abode. So how to attain is very, and this verse is very, very important. The summation of chapter 7 and 8. Prabhupada writing this verse is the summation of 7th and 8th chapter, which particularly deal with Kṛṣṇa consciousness and devotional service. One has to study Veda under the guidance of spiritual master, undergo many austerity penance while living under it. Brahmachari also leave home, etc. But in these verses, he says simply by bhakti, one can, everything can be, beauty of Kṛṣṇa consciousness is given in this verse. However, is that by one stroke, by engaging in devotional service, one can surpass all the rituals of different order of life. You don't need to become a brahmachari, become a grahastha, vaishya, shudra, brahma, vanaprastha, sannyas. At one stroke, by engaging in devotional service, one can surpasses all the rituals of different order of life. So this is the summation. This is a summary of both 7th and 8th chapter. How to become Kṛṣṇa consciousness and go back to Godhead. Simply by process of devotional service, one can understand Kṛṣṇa, Maya Sakta Manapartha, 7th chapter, and he can attain also, how to attain the Kṛṣṇa, the 8th chapter also, by that process. Now the 9th chapter comes, it is called a confidential knowledge. So let's go to the 9th chapter. So now Kṛṣṇa is now speaking about the 9th chapter, which is the confidential knowledge. So Kṛṣṇa says, Sri Bhagavan Ubhati, idam tute guhyanam prabhakhyami anuswaya vijnanam saitva yadgantva mokhaya suva. Now, my dear Arjuna, because you are never envious me, I shall impart you the most confidential knowledge. So Kṛṣṇa now revealing most confidential knowledge. Initial knowledge is 2nd chapter and 3rd chapter about the karma-yoga, about the Sankhya-yoga, body and soul, about the karma-yoga. There are knowledge, confidential knowledge also. But more confidential knowledge is 7th and 8th chapter, is about the energy of the Lord, about the opulence of the Lord. They are more, confidential. The most confidential knowledge Kṛṣṇa is giving, that is bhakti. That is about 9 chapters. Try to understand this. This is bhakti is given here. Here in these verses, Kṛṣṇa is speaking that Raja Vidya Rajagviham Pavitram Idam Uttamam Prathakya Bhagamam Dharmyam Susukham Kartum Abhayam. So Kṛṣṇa say that this knowledge is the king of education, the most secret of all. It is the purest of knowledge because it gives direct perception of the self by realization. The perfection of religion, it is everlasting and joyfully performed. So Kṛṣṇa, this chapter of Bhagavad Gita is called the king of education because it is the essence of all doctrine and philosophy explained before. Among the principal philosophers, all India, Gautam, Kannada, Kapila, Yajnavalkya, Sandilya, Vaishyanara, finally there is a Vasudev, author. So here it is said that there is no depth of knowledge, but this 9th chapter is called king of all such knowledge, essence of all knowledge that can be derived from the study of Veda, different kind of philosophy. Most confidential transcendental knowledge involves understanding the difference between body and soul, and the and the king of all confidence and knowledge, culminate in devotional service. So the devotional service is the highest. People do not educated. They do not know. They are only known external knowledge. Paravidya means external knowledge, mundane knowledge. Vairarthamanina, some very mundane knowledge about how to eat, how to sleep. But Kṛṣṇa is explaining in 9th chapter is called confidential knowledge. It's very, very important. How to perform bhakti to Kṛṣṇa. Kṛṣṇa is explaining and glorifying this confidential knowledge, that it is the king of education, secret of all secret. It is directly perceived. It is the highest perfection of all religion. That is bhakti. Perfection of all religion. So, and Kṛṣṇa saying now that knowledge about Kṛṣṇa relation to the material world. Kṛṣṇa again repeat the 7th chapter knowledge of absolute truth. Also here also Kṛṣṇa again repeat to stressing the point, because unless one knows the opulence of Kṛṣṇa, what is the knowledge about Kṛṣṇa relationship in the world, how he is the supreme, then one cannot understand Kṛṣṇa. One cannot come to the point of surrendering or bhakti. Therefore, Kṛṣṇa explained, after glorifying the confidential knowledge, he say about this material world. He told, by me, in my unmanifested form, this entire universe is pervaded. All beings are me, but I am not in them. So everything is energy, just like a king. King, everywhere there is king, but king is not everything. So try to understand. See, Kṛṣṇa consciousness philosophy is very, very, try to understand the philosophy. King is everywhere. His kingdom is ruling. Government is everywhere, but everybody is not the president or prime minister. His energies are everywhere. His perceived unmanifested form is pervaded. His energy, everywhere you see is material energy or spiritual energy. And he is the boss. So, simply telling that his energy and he himself one, that is called Mayavadi philosophy, monism, Advaitavada, is not correct. Simply telling that he is different from his energy, that is also not correct. Therefore, Kṛṣṇa consciousness philosophy is achinta veda veda, simultaneously one and different. He is there by his energy, but all supposing he is there in every atom. Kṛṣṇa say that in Brahma Samhita it say that ekapi asau rachaitam jagadanda koti koti su asesa vasudhadi ekapi asau rachaita jagadanda koti khittir asti jagadanda chayandanta andantarasta paramanu means atom, chayantarantam govindam adipurusha. That means he is also in the stools, but stool is not God. He is in the dog, but dog is not God. Try to understand. Simultaneously same means qualitatively very equal, but not quantitatively. Although he is energy, but he is energetic. Simultaneously one and different. Quantitatively is different. So therefore he is explaining about what is the relationship in this way. So he is explaining about that I am everywhere pervading, and then yet everything that is created does not rest in me. Behold my mystic opulence. Although I am the maintainer of all living entity, although I am everywhere, I am not a part of this cosmic manifestation. For myself is very source of creation. So, matastani sarvabhutani. It should not be understood that Lord is not directly concerned with maintenance. No, he is there. He is everywhere. He is conscious everything. But he is not the part of this cosmic manifestation. Just like chief engineer. A chief engineer of a construction, of a building or a big construction, he knows he may not be directly participate, but he is conscious. He knows nook and corner. Similarly, Lord does not take part personally, but his energies are working. Therefore, he is saying that you should try to understand what is relationship Kṛṣṇa with material world. What is that called? Ananda chinmaya rasapati tavirepa nijarupataya kale. Goloka eva nivasati. Although he is in Golok, still he is all pervading by his energy. Just like king is there in palace, but his kingdom is ruling, governance of king is everywhere. So try to understand this point. So Krishna is explaining this confidential knowledge, and he told different type of worshipper is there. Some worshipper they do not avajananti mamamuda manusim tanu asritam param baba ajanantam mamabutta maishwara. So people deride when I descend in the human form. They do not know my transcendental nature as the Supreme Lord, all that. People sometimes deride, what is this? Human being is coming. God is something beyond impersonal. So they deride Krishna. So they do not know that he is coming with a transcendental knowledge, he is the Supreme. So a different worshipper, they worship, you say that different worshipper, they worship different people. Like, there's a beautiful verses that he says that different worshipper, they worship different form. Who engage in the sacrifice by cultivation of knowledge, worship the Supreme Lord as one without a second, in diverse in many universal form. So they are different worshipers. Those who universal form they worship. Some people are worship demigods. So in this way, people are different form they worship. It is who I am the ritual, sacrifice, offering. I am the water, I am the fire. So in you say Krishna telling different worshipper are there who are worshipping me different way. So but Krishna here saying that although the different worshipper are there, but those who do not worship, they are worshipping other things like aham sarvajagyanam bhakta cha prabhurvacha na tu mam avijananti tattena chavanti cha. So many people are worship demigods. Krishna says the demigod worshipper are abhidhi purvakam. They are not properly worshipping. Impersonalists also, those who are thinking Krishna is no form, they are also different worshipper. But these worshipper are not the perfect worshipper. They will fall down. So Krishna says that those who are devotee of other gods, who worship them with faith, actually worship only me, O son of Kunti. But they don't do it wrong way. It's like holding your nose like this. They do not know the root is Krishna. So therefore Krishna says in this chapter that aham sarvajagyanam bhoktanam prabhurevacha na tu mam avijananti tattena chavantite. I am only enjoyer, I am the master of sacrifice. Therefore those who do not recognize my true transcendental nature fall down. Therefore Krishna say those who are different worshippers, they do not reach my abode. They go to other yanti deva deva but yanti deva bata devan pitrim janti priti bata bhutani janti bhutejo janti mad jajina pima. So Krishna says those who worship demigod will take birth among demigods. Those who worship ancestor, just like we have a Mahalaya, so go to ancestor. Those who worship the ghost spirit, they take birth among such beings. Those who worship me may live with me. So the different worshipper are not the perfect worshipper. Those who are worshipping Krishna, they are perfect because they go to the supreme abode. So this is a confidential knowledge. People do not know that. So finally Krishna is telling that glories of the bhakti. That is this essence of this chapter, the confidential knowledge is bhakti. So he is speaking about the glories of the bhakti from 1926 onwards to 34. He told that patram puspam phalam toyam jome bhaktya pravachati tadaham bhakti rupatam asnami pratamana. 2 times is 4-line verses, 2 times he is explaining bhaktya. If one offers me with love, devotion, I leave flower, fruit, water, I will accept it. So Krishna is explaining about the important of bhakti yoga. He telling yat karosi yad asrasi yad jahasi dadasi yat tapasyasi konte tat kuruta madarpanam. You whatever you do as an offering me, that become a bhakti. And that is the essence of all Bhagavad Gita, essence of the success, perfection. So in this way he is speaking about all the his he is explaining everything, and anybody can come to him. He told that manmana bhava madabhakta madajadi mam namaskuru mam ivasya yuktabhyam atmanam matparayana. Very important verse. Engage your mind always, thinking of me, become my devotee, offer obeisance unto me, worship me, being completely absorbed me, surely will come to me. This is very important. This verse clearly indicate that Krishna consciousness is the only means of being delivered from the clutches of contaminated world. So this is very important point. And everybody can come. 932 he told that even a woman Sudra, he partha mami partha vyapasrita yapi swa papa jonaya striya vaisya tata Sudra tepi janti paramgat. So anybody can execute the devotional service, and that is the perfection. There is no other means. Only means to deliver from the clutches of this contamination, material contamination, is to bhakti yoga. That is the final. This is Bhagavatam also very nice verses. He say that 5:19, I think 5. No, there is a verse is there where it is say that by only by bhakti, my bhaktiri bhutanam. Krishna say my bhaktiri bhutanam amriteva kulpate. In this way, one should know that the confidential knowledge is nothing but it is about the essence is the bhakti. Bhakti is the most important things in this ninth chapter, and in finish with the last verses manmana bhava mata bhakta. Therefore, it is most confidential, because seventh and eighth chapter also more confidential because devotional service, but ninth is the most important, most confidential because unalloyed pure devotion. Deal with pure devotion. 10th chapter, Krishna is telling that the opulence of the absolute, knowledge of the absolute is 7th chapter. Now 10th chapter is opulences. Krishna is saying that is informing about different opulences, so that we can remember Krishna in all circumstances. By knowing this is all opulences, whatever you see in the world, it is because his emanation. The Chaturshloki also coming here. Krishna telling everything you see, all opulence is I am the source. Krishna is the source of all. I am the source. I am the supreme. Because if you know the supreme position of Krishna, that is the impetus, inspiration for one to take the process of bhakti yoga. That is whole idea. Krishna is again stressing in the 10th chapter is the opulence of the absolute. He is informing us. So in this way we can know that in this Chatur Shloko, Krishna say that essence of bhakti is summarized in Chatur Shloki, that how his opulence, the result of truly knowing one become pure devotee. So why he is explaining all these things, his opulences, because by knowing that one can become a devotee. So the first 7th chapter he is explaining about his opulences. I am the source of everything. Now in 8th, the Chatur Shloki, the four verses which is called Chatur Shloki, Bhagavad Gita, which is very, very important root verse, Bija verse. That means these verses is there in everywhere, just like a root is everywhere, they are connected. Similarly, these verses are everywhere. So here it is said that aham sarvasya prabhava matah sarvam pavatate iti mutva vadante ma buddha bhavasmanvita. So one, if somebody knows I am the source of all spiritual material world, everything emanates from me, the wise who perfectly know this engage in my devotional service and worship me with their heart. So now Krishna is saying that suppose that if you know my opulences, one become a pure devotee. That's why he is speaking about the opulences repeatedly. 7th, 8th, 7th, 9th chapter, 10th chapter. Actually the 10th chapter is the extension of the 7th chapter. Knowledge of absolute, now opulence of the absolute. Then in next verses he says that how to become, how a pure devotee worship him. Pure devotee worship him, the process of madachita madagata prana bodhoyante parasparam kathanta chamam nityam tussanti cha ramanti cha. The thought of my pure devotee dwell in me. Their lives are fully devoted to my service. They derive great satisfaction and bliss from always enlightening one another, conversing about me. So this is pure devotee, how they worship. They are dedicated their lives to serve the Lord, and they always converse, always talk, always discuss about Krishna. That is the symptoms of a pure devotional. Symptoms, this is how a pure devotee worships. Then next verses he says that his reciprocation with loving service. So he is telling these two verses, another two Chaturshloki. He says that how he reciprocates with devotee. Tesam satat juktanam bhajatam piti purvakam dadami buddhi jogam tam jainam mam upayantite. So Krishna said, to those who are constantly devoted to me, serving with me with love, I give the understanding by which they can come to me. So Krishna give the spiritual understanding those who are engaged in devotional service. How he reciprocate with devotee. So in this way he reciprocate. Then finally he says that tesam evanukam partam aham ajnana jam tama nasayami atmavutasto jnana deepena bhasvasto. So how he reciprocate? To show them special mercy at dwelling in their heart, destroy with the shining lamp of knowledge the darkness born of ignorance. Because of ignorance we do not know Krishna, we do not know how to attain him, we do not know devotional service. So Krishna, how he reciprocate those who surrender unto me, surrender unto him, those who are engaged in the service, devotional service unto him. So in this way Krishna is speaking about his opulences, and Arjuna immediately accept Krishna as the supreme position. Immediately. Then Krishna also explain further his opulences, so that it will not only for the Arjuna, for everyone, because Arjuna knows only. Arjuna already knows, because Arjuna here immediately he spoke the next verse. He spoke that I know that you are the Supreme Lord. You are the Param Brahma. Arjuna already confirmed, not only confirmed, he is already agreed to that. That Param Brahma Paramandhama Pavitram Paramam Bhavan Purusham Sastastam Divam Adidevam. So Arjuna already agreed to that. That you are the supreme personality of Godhead, ultimate about purest of absolute truth. You are the eternal, transcendental, original. All great sages such as Narada, Sita, Devala, Vyasa confirm truth about you. Now you yourself declaring it to me. So Arjuna here already understood that, and he accepted everything. He says, I accepted everything. Sarvametam ritam manyan yan mama badasi kesava. Nobody knows you, and I accepted. Then he is asking that you show me more and you speak about the more of your opulences. So he asking, please tell me the detail of your divine opulence by which you prevent all this world. So Krishna again showing all these opulences to him. I am this, I am that, like this, so that it will inspiration for this surrender unto him, engage in devotional service. So this is the thing, and more you hear about this, that is Prabhupada say that more one hear about the Supreme Lord, more one become fixed in devotional service. That is whole idea. One should always hear about the Lord in the association of the devotees. That is very important, and that will enhances one's devotional service. Discourse in the society of devotee takes place only among those who are anxious to hear about Krishna, or anxious to be Krishna consciousness. Therefore, whole the center is created for that purpose, to give a facilities for everyone to get associate and hear Savanam Kirtanam Vishnu Smaranam. That is whole idea. More you hear, more you fixed up. So in this way, Lord is explaining all the opulence. In the 11th chapter, Arjuna requested Krishna to describe his universal form. Krishna say, I am all providing in 10th chapter my opulence, this one, that one, all the thing. So now Arjuna, not for the sake of him, because he knows already, for the sake of the others, he is asking that please show your universal form. So in 11th chapter, Lord is showing his universal form, and Sanjay is describing from 11:9 to 11:31 how everywhere they can see so many, all the demigods, everything, all the material universe within him, everything. And then in this way, Arjuna was a bit of fear, because Arjuna, when he behold the Krishna's universal form, is very astonished that seeing everything, all the opulences within him. So he is very astonished, and he also fearful. Finally, Krishna is showing, requesting Krishna to show that to forearm Vishnu form, and then his original two form. That means Krishna is everything is an emanation from the Krishna. Even Vishnu also is the expansion of Krishna. That is whole idea. This chapter reveals the Krishna is the cause of all causes. He is even the cause of Mahavishnu, from whom this material nature is manifested or emanates. So this is Krishna is not an incarnation. Is the Krishna to Swayam is source of all incarnation. Krishna to Swayam Bhagavan. That is explained in this 11th chapter. Because as far as Arjuna concerned, he knows everything. Already in 10th chapter he told you are Param Brahma. For the sake of others, that how Kṛṣṇa is great. Kṛṣṇa is the cause of everything. Kṛṣṇa also spoke that, my dear Arjuna, only by undivided devotional service can I be understood as I am, standing before you, can thus be seen directly. Only in this way can you enter into the mystery of my understanding. So here again Kṛṣṇa stress, all this universal form you saw, you cannot see by a normal blunt eyes, only by devotional service, undivided devotional service. You can understand me by undivided devotional service. And he ended with that how to become Krishna consciousness by following the 5 steps. So he said that mat karma krit mat parama mad bhakta sangha vardita nirvay sarvabhutesh vesa mameti pandava. How to become Krishna consciousness, and then only how to achieve this undivided devotional service for me. He told, my dear Arjuna, he who engage in my pure devotional service, free from the contamination of fruitive activities, mental speculation, he works for me, who makes me the supreme goal of his life, who is friendly to every living being, he certainly comes to me. So now he's speaking this essence of this verse is the essence of Bhagavad Gita, because is directed to the conditioned soul who are engaged in the material world with purpose of lording it over, who do not know the real spiritual life. So Bhagavad Gita is meant to show how one can understand his spiritual existence, his eternal relationship with supreme spiritual personality, to teach one how to go back to home, back to Godhead. Now here is the version which explains the process by which one can attain success in his spiritual activity, that is devotional service. Mat karma krit, you work for me, you make me object of goal of life. You see every living entity friendly because they are part of me. So in this way, so you become Krishna consciousness and come back to me, friendly to everyone. So this is the formula given by Kṛṣṇa. So finally, 12th chapter is the devotional service, where Kṛṣṇa is explaining about the pure devotional service, about the devotional, who is dearer to Kṛṣṇa, how bhakti is superior to. Very beginning, Arjuna is asking bhakti and so what is that, impersonalism versus personal devotion. So he is explaining who is bhakti is superior to impersonalism. So Kṛṣṇa is showing that the bhakti is better because impersonalism is not superior. But those who fully worship unmanifested, that which lies beyond the perception sense of all pervading inconceivable. So Kṛṣṇa says this 12.5 that for those whose minds are attached to unmanifested impersonal feature of the Supreme, advancement is very troublesome. To make progress in that discipline is always difficult for those who are embodied. So he told that better to do the devotional services, far better than concentrating on the impersonal. You cannot love the air, love something impersonal. You cannot meditate something nothing. So that is very difficult. Therefore, he say that devotional service is best. But those who worship me, giving up all their activity onto me, being devoted to me without deviation, engage in devotional service, always meditating on me, upon me, having fixed their mind upon me, or son of Pista, for them I am the swift deliverer from the ocean of birth and death. So Kṛṣṇa say, I am the swift deliverer, those who are engaging. Therefore, the bhakti is superior to the impersonalism. Impersonalism means those who are worshipping the impersonal form, like a universal form, like Lord has no form, light, like this. Although they are transcendentalist, but they are not perfect. Avisuddha Buddha. Personalist is superior. So Kṛṣṇa is also explaining that stage of the bhakti. Kṛṣṇa says, supposing somebody is not cannot fix the mind. So Kṛṣṇa says, just fix your mind upon me, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and engage all your intelligence in me. Thus you will live in me always without a doubt. That is pure devotion, Kṛṣṇa consciousness. But you cannot do that. Then what to do? Kṛṣṇa says, never mind. You cannot do then you cannot fix your mind upon me without deviation. Then follow the regulative principle of Bhakti-yoga, that is called sadhana bhakti, sarvanam, kirtanam, Vishnu smaranam, all the things. In this way, develop a desire to attain me. You will develop the desire. So if you cannot do that also, Krishna says, work for me, never mind. You cannot do that also. If you cannot practice regulation of Bhakti Yoga, then just try to work for me, because by working for me, you will come to perfect stage. Then finally he told that you cannot work for me. If however you are unable to work in this consciousness, then try to act giving up all result of your work and try to be self-situated. So you give up, detached from the work. If you cannot take this practice, then engage yourself in cultivation of knowledge. Better than knowledge, however, is meditation. Better than meditation in renunciation of fruits of the action. For such renunciation, one can attain peace of mind. So Krishna is speaking that. So you cannot do, there is a stage of progression. You cannot directly Krishna conscious, do something, come, the progressive stage of devotion. Then finally Krishna is speaking about qualities that are very endeared to Krishna. What are the divine qualities that is very endeared to Krishna? Endear one to Krishna. So finally he is speaking about some of the quality in 8 verses 12:13 to 12:22. He is speaking about the qualities. So he said that one who is not envious but kind of friend to all living entity, who does not think himself a proprietor, free from false ego, which is equal to both happiness and distress, who is tolerant, always satisfied, self-control, engaged in devotional service, determination, his mind and intelligence fixed on me, such a devotee of mine is very dear to me. So these are the qualities that can endure one to Krishna. So Krishna is explaining all this quality. He by whom no one is put into difficulty, who is not disturbed by anyone, who is equiposed in happiness, distress, fear and anxiety is very dear to me. My devotee who is not dependent on the ordinary course of activity, who is pure, expert, without care, free from all pains, not striving for some result is very dear to me. So in this way, all the quality Krishna is explaining, who neither rejoices nor grieves, neither laments nor desires, who renounce both auspicious and inauspicious things. Such a devotee is very dear to me. One who is equal to friend, enemy, who is equiposed in honor, dishonor, hate, cold, happiness, distress, fame, infame, who is always free from contaminating association, always silent, satisfied with anything, who do not care for any resident, who is fixed in knowledge, who is engaged in devotional service. Such a person very dear to me. Those who follow the impossible path of devotional service, who completely engage themselves with faith, making me the supreme goal, are very, very dear to me. Krishna said, very, very dear to me, who is completely engaged. So in this way, Krishna is explaining that how in this verse, Bhakti Yoga is the essence of all the things. And those who are engaged in Bhakti Yoga, he is very, very dear to me. In this chapter, verse 2 through end, from my abhasamanayam mam, fixing mind on me through yatu dharmartham idam, religion of eternal engagement. Supreme Lord has explained the process of transcendental service for approaching him. Such processes are very dear to Lord, and he accepts the person engaged in them. The question of who is better, who is engaged in the path of impersonal Brahman, or who is engaged in personal service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, was raised by Arjuna. The Lord replied to him so explicitly that there is no doubt that devotional service to the Personality of Godhead is the best of all process of spiritual realization. In other words, in this chapter, it is decided that through good association, one develop the attachment for pure devotional service, and thereby accept a bona fide spiritual master. From him begins to hear and chant and observe the regulative principle of devotional service with faith, attachment, devotion, thus become engaged in transcendental service of the Lord. The path is recommended in this chapter. Therefore, there is no doubt that devotional service is the only absolute path for self-realization. It's the only absolute path for self-realization, for the attainment of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The impersonal conception of the absolute truth as described in chapter is recommended only up to the time one surrender himself for the self-realization. In other words, as long as one does not have the chance to associate with pure devotee, the impersonal conception may be beneficial. In the impersonal conception of absolute truth, one works without fruitive result, meditate, cultivate knowledge to understand spirit and matter. This is necessary as long as one is not in the association of pure devotee. Fortunately, if one develops direct directly desire to engage in Krishna consciousness in pure devotional service. He does not need to undergo step-by-step improvement in spiritual realization. Devotional service, as this described in the middle 6th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, is more congenial, very congenial than other things. One need not bother about material to keep body and soul together, because by the grace of Lord, everything is carried out automatically. This is the end of the purport, Bhakti Vedanta purport. So this is Bhakti Yoga, how it is very congenial, very easy to perform. Susukham kartum abhayam. Susukham. And a king of knowledge, everything. And very dear to Krishna. So therefore, Bhakti is the essence of all Bhagavad Gita. Therefore, Krishna say that Manamana Bhava Madhavakta, 2 times test, you become my devotee. Whole idea of a student of Bhagavad Gita, or after hearing, after understanding Bhagavad Gita, if one does not surrender to Krishna, or one does not become a devotee of Krishna, then his understanding of Bhagavad Gita is pretty much incomplete. So this is the end of the Bhakti Yoga. Thank you very much. All goes to Srila Prabhupada. Grantarashtra with Bhagavad Gita ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol.